everyone! Today I'm going to be doing my very first reaction video to a lyric video, and today I'm going to be reacting to Venom by Diamond Black. I have been following the band for the past year and I am super impressed with all the music I've listened from them, and I am just so happy that this new song is coming out now because I've listened bits and pieces and that got me really interested to hear more. So without further ado, I present to you Venom by Diamond Black. Sorry to stop so soon, but oh my god, that riff. I have listened to that riff many times in their social media and I always wanted to listen more, and finally I can hear the entire version of it. I'm so excited. On your words, a silent saboteur. I resonate with that when it comes to us paying attention to negative reviews, negative aspects of life, and just dwelling on those negative thoughts that people say to us, not really paying attention to praises and focusing on those negative comments, negative reviews. And that's a silent saboteur because that really lingers in our mind and it becomes into a self-sabotage to ourselves because we start doubting. So I completely resonated with that part.
Shadows redefined. Now it's the perfect crime. Now it's the time when fears drag you down. Fears drag you down to where you've never been so long.
Drag you down. I resonate with that so much. I have had experiences where I was crippled by anxiety and I couldn't leave my bed, and I completely resonate when it comes to fears drag you down, put you in a catatonic state where you don't want to leave your bed, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't want to create, you don't want to essentially be the person that you are meant to be because those fears are dragging you down. So this is something I relate to quite a lot. So let's talk about the scenery of the video. Look at that red sky, the dark buildings, the sharp rocks. It's very unwelcoming. It's kind of like their own personal dystopia. Maybe the singer's dystopia, the whole band's dystopia, but also we all create our own personal hell inside of our minds. So when it comes to this type of scenery, I think they did a really good job representing everyone's having their own little hell when it comes to negative thoughts, negative feelings. Mental health cripple us down, and it's just a very dark, unwelcoming place, unsettling place, the dark sky. Familiar places such as this city, something that's familiar to us, but it's in a very distorted way. So I really like this scenery. Very great representation of struggling with fear. Fleeting remedy in Venom you confide. Also a very strong lyric that I resonate a lot with. I know a lot of people turn to substances, alcohol, drugs when it comes to dealing with situations, dealing with negative stuff, and it's just a fleeting remedy. It's something that will probably numb you for a couple hours, but the next morning you will wake up and start feeling even worse. So when Chris here says in Venom you confide, essentially is us confiding into this type of temporary solution, something that is just gonna numb us down. But yeah, it's something that a lot of people struggle with substances, alcohol and drugs. So I completely understand the metaphor when it comes to this part.
Pale upon your sense, a relic left to swing.
riff is just something that I will never get over. Like, it's just such a great riff. I believe it's 6 different notes on an open note. I think that's as much as I counted in my mind. So 6 different notes on an open note. Incredible riff. Very energetic. It just keeps your senses alert, which is also part of mental health. Like, being alert, staying alert, having like something that make us feel so crippled but at the same time alert. So I really like that, the energy of the song, the entire environment. So really good. This part is something that I really liked. Trusting conspiracies. When I listen to that, I feel that a lot of us create narratives in our minds that are conspiracies, essentially talking to ourselves saying like, this is not good enough, are people going to like it, or someone else did something better. So these are conspiracies that we create in our minds, these narratives that brings us down, and just trusting that conspiracy, trusting that whatever we're saying and creating in our mind cripple us down to not create or release work into the world because we're so scared of the feedback. What are people going to say? And just attempting to stay in a safe place by creating a narrative of conspiracies that are essentially fake. We never know how it's going to turn out until we actually put our work out there. So trusting that conspiracy is sort of like going into a safe place, a place where you are sheltered yourself away from those negative comments, negative reviews. So interesting lyric. I also resonate. When it comes to this part of the chorus of like never being so lost, like fears drag you down to a dark place, there is a famous quote by one of my favorite singers that says, there is a darkness that we need to feel in order for the brightest light to be seen and felt inside. And I have that tattooed on my back because it's just a quote that really means a lot to me, and I can kind of tie that quote to this part of this song because I feel like all of us have to reach to a certain level of darkness in order for us to actually experience and see the light and feel it. So when it comes to fears bringing us down, I also feel that it's sort of necessary for us to go down there because we can see and feel the light from inside once we reach that point of feeling better, overcoming those obstacles, overcoming those fears. So yeah, I just had that thought when I was listening to this. Oopsies, my camera just stopped recording for no reason, so I'm gonna have to resume where I left. And that was in Venom by Diamond Black. Lots to unpack, lots of meaning lyrics, lots of things to consider about. As I was watching this video, there were many things that were coming into my mind, especially when it comes to mental health. So incredible. And I really appreciated the visuals, the symbol that we have in the video. I thought that was a very interesting representation of mental health. When it comes to the very first perception that I get from this symbol is the spider web. So very interesting representation. The very first thought that I had was that once you get caught by the spider web, the more you fight, the more you fall into it, and it's more difficult to get out. It is a very intricate yet frail way for you to go down, but it's something that very well represents how mental health struggles work, because it's something that is not easy to get out. It's not something that you can get out from one day to another. It's a process, and it's a very difficult one. So very well thought when it comes to the spider web. Also, the lines, the arrows, I think that's also a representation of the struggles inside and outside, because the inner struggles are inner demons. Everything that we fight with ourselves, it will also project in the outside. For instance, if you fall into depression, it is very likely that if you don't feel like doing anything, that's also going to affect you in your daily life activities, and just crippling you down into being in bed all day and not completing all your activities. So again, that's something that it's affecting you in the inside, but it's also affecting you outside, affecting your family, your friendships. So I really like the double arrow, because it's something that goes both ways. So very interesting. Also, when looking at it, it kind of looks like a flower to me. A flower that is talking about fears, anxiety, is something that is very negative. So looking at it, I was like, oh, it's a flower in bloom. A flower about fears and anxiety, a flower of evil. And then I thought about it, it clicked in my mind immediately, and I was like, Flowers of Evil by Charles Baudelaire. Oh, well, Charles Baudelaire is one of my favorite writers, and he has this book called Flowers of Evil, which is a collection of poems. And this poetry, in essence, explores the darker aspects of human experience. So thinking about the Flowers of Evil, those poems inside that book had a lot of rich symbolism, and this video has a lot of symbolism as well. So finding that connection between Charles Baudelaire and this video was something very easy to find, because Flowers of Evil, darker aspects of the human experience, lots of symbolism, lots to unpack, lots to realize, lots to think about. Incredible. So yeah, I really loved all of this. It was a great video. I would say my overall score, if anybody cares to know a score, 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 if we get a full video with the band members. But other than that, it was incredible. The riffs, again, I'm never going to stop talking about the riffs. Riffs were incredible. Chris Harms, incredible. Chris Harms is just an incredible artist. So I have nothing negative to say about Chris Harms. We love you, Chris. 9 out of 10. Love it. Can't wait to see an actual video with the band members. Adam, we're waiting for that poncho. But yeah, incredible. Love it. Bravo. Kudos. Incredible.